Today, we're going to talk about a really important message that comes straight from a professional cat groomer. And look, it's not meant to scare anyone, but to protect our pets. It's a piece of advice that really comes from a place of deep care for our cats. So let's get into what every single cat owner should know. And this, right here, is what it's all about. I mean, the goal for all of us, for owners, for groomers, for vets, is the same. We all want our pets to live the longest, happiest, healthiest lives they possibly can. Everything else we're about to talk about really just serves that one simple mission. So you might be asking, why such a serious message? Well, it's because the very thing we do to keep our cats clean and comfortable, grooming, can, for some cats, carry a pretty serious hidden health risk. And it all comes down to the physical impact of stress. You know, it's an idea that's actually pretty easy to understand, because we see it in ourselves. As we get older, our bodies just change. Our hearts, our lungs, our whole system isn't as tough as it used to be. Well, the exact same thing is true for our cats. And this is where you can really see the difference. For a young, healthy cat, their body's response to stress is pretty amazing. Yeah, they get stressed during a car ride or a grooming session, but their system handles it and goes back to normal. But for an older cat, or a cat with underlying health issues, that same amount of stress can be like a flood hitting a dam that's already got a few cracks. It can just be too much for their system to handle. And we're not just talking about your cat feeling anxious here. The physical effects are absolutely real. The stress can push their blood pressure way up, make it hard for them to breathe, and in the most extreme cases, it can actually put so much strain on a weakened heart that it leads to heart failure. Okay, so let's talk about the number at the center of all this. 1%. Now I know, that sounds incredibly small. And for the huge majority of cats, it is. They'll be perfectly fine. But think about it from the groomer's point of view, seeing thousands of cats. Or more importantly, think about it if that 1% happens to be your cat. For that one owner and that one pet, this tiny risk carries the heaviest consequence you can possibly imagine. So this brings up a totally fair question. Why is a groomer the one telling me this? Isn't this a conversation for my vet? And the answer really boils down to professional responsibility and just being completely transparent. You see, this isn't just a groomer's personal policy. There are actually animal protection laws that require this. It's called a duty to inform. It means that professionals who care for our pets are bound both ethically and legally to make sure we, the owners, understand any potential risks that come with their services. And this really shines a light on the different roles here. A groomer is an expert in hygiene and care. They operate on the assumption that your pet is healthy, but they are not a doctor. They can't diagnose a hidden heart condition. The veterinarian is the one who provides medical care and diagnosis. They're two very different, very important jobs. Okay, so you've got this difficult information. Now what? What's a responsible pet owner supposed to do? Well, the message isn't never, ever groom your cat again. Not at all. It's about making a smart, informed choice. So let's explore what the options are. This is the absolute first question you should ask yourself if your cat is in that higher risk group. Is the stress of a full-blown professional grooming session totally necessary, or is there another way to handle it? And the groomer actually offers some fantastic practical advice. For cats that get really, really stressed, maybe a less is more approach at home is the answer. You could focus on just the problem spots, like gently shaving only the back to get rid of some bad matting, and then really commit to a gentle, regular brushing routine to keep it from happening again. But hey, life is complicated, and there are some very legitimate reasons why grooming at home just isn't going to work for every family or for every cat. And here are some of those reasons. Sometimes matting gets so bad that it's actually pulling on the skin and causing pain. At that point, the health risk from the matting is way bigger than the risk of the groom. Or maybe you, the owner, have bad allergies and just can't do that close-up care. And let's be honest, some cats are just not having it. Trying to brush them at home could be dangerous for you both. In those cases, you absolutely need a professional. So if you have to go ahead with a professional groom for a high-risk cat, it all has to be built on one core idea: informed consent. It means you look at that 1% risk, you understand exactly what it means, and you consciously decide to accept it and move forward. That's what true informed consent is all about. So, this brings us to the end of the groomer's message, and it puts the focus right back where it should be, on that loving connection between you and your pet. I think this quote really says it all. This is a proactive conversation. It's about giving you the information you need to make the best choice before there's a problem instead of trying to explain a tragedy after it's already happened. It's a genuine act of care. At the end of the day, there is no single right answer that fits every cat. The right path for you and your companion is the decision only you can make. It's about balancing the need for the groom against the potential risks and looking at it all through the lens of love for your pet. And that's really the question we're left with. It's a question that asks us to put convenience and even how our pet looks to the side for a moment and just think deeply about what's best for their well-being. And that is the most important question any of us as pet owners can ever ask.